Never's End is being developed and published by Hypersect, an independent studio known for creating system-driven games that focus on mechanical depth and experimentation. The team often leans into complex gameplay systems and strategic decision-making, which becomes very clear once you start playing Never's End. The game is currently in development, and the demo available on Steam gives players an early look into the core tactical systems and the direction the full game is heading. Never's End is a turn-based tactical RPG that places a strong emphasis on environmental interaction and strategic planning. Battles take place on grid-based maps where positioning, stamina, terrain, and even temperature can influence the outcome of combat. Instead of simply selecting an enemy and choosing an ability, the game asks players to think about how the battlefield itself can be manipulated. Magic interacts with the environment, stamina determines how many actions you can perform in a turn, and terrain like water or land can influence the effectiveness of certain abilities. The game clearly draws inspiration from classic tactical RPGs while attempting to push the genre forward with deeper systems and environmental mechanics. When Never's End was first sent to me, I immediately got flashbacks to playing Final Fantasy Tactics when I was a teenager. The visual style, camera movement, and the grid-based combat all felt like a love letter to the classic game. And honestly, that's both a good and a bad thing. It's good because I enjoy tactical games and absolutely love Final Fantasy, but it's also risky because tactical RPGs can sometimes get too complicated for their own good. When too many mechanics get layered on top of each other, it can distract from the strategy you've been building throughout the whole game. Never's End takes the classic tactics formula and mixes it with something that's almost reminds me of Magic the Gathering, specifically in how it treats the battlefield as a system you can manipulate. Temperature and environment both play a role in combat. You're not just managing stamina and time before performing actions, you're also paying attention to whether you're staying on land or in water and how the temperature around you can be used to your advantage. The demo starts you off right in the middle of a battle, with what appears to be a group of farmers defending themselves against enemies. The game treats this as a full tutorial, walking you through the basics of movement, attacking, stamina management, and the time system that controls turn order. Once you clear the first group of enemies, a mysterious observer explains that future battles become more difficult and encourages you to use everything you've learned, including magic, to survive. From there you can visit a nearby tavern where you can cook food, sell items, rest for a set amount of time, and recruit other party members to expand your team from 3 until 4. After that, you head out into the next area and begin learning how the magic system works. And this is where the game gets really intricate. Using fire magic isn't as simple as selecting an enemy and casting a spell. Instead, you actually manipulate heat from the environment. You might siphon heat from one area and move it to somewhere else, or cool down the space in front of an enemy and push the heat behind them to create kind of a vacuum effect that knocks them backwards. It almost feels like you're taking a beginner's science class while trying to win a tactical battle. It's fascinating, but definitely more complicated than most players are used to. During the second battle of the demo, I discovered something that the tutorial didn't really explain. You can actually attack multiple times in a turn, as long as you still have stamina available. I only noticed this because the attack option was still highlighted after I already attacked once. By navigating through an action bar, I was able to attack again, and at one point I managed to hit an enemy 3 times in the same turn. For someone who's used to a typical one attack per turn structure in tactical games, this felt pretty surprising and added another layer of strategy. After the second battle, my party's health was actually pretty good shape, but my equipment wasn't. My armor and weapons had taken a lot of durability damage, and I couldn't find a way to repair them. Sleeping didn't help durability either, so my only option was to buy new gear from the character who helped me at the beginning of the game. I equipped my party with what looked to be better equipment, mostly based on higher numbers, and moved on to what I assumed would be the demo's final battle. And that's where things took a sharp turn. The difficulty suddenly ramped up with a completely new set of powerful enemies. It honestly felt like I accidentally wandered into an area that I wasn't supposed to reach yet. I tried using everything I learned, including throwing fire bombs, but the moment I used one, a wall of text popped up saying immune. At that point, I knew things were about to go badly. One by one, my party members fell. Normally in a tactics game, dying just means restarting the battle and trying a different strategy. So when my team was wiped out, I clicked the retry button, expecting to jump back into the fight. Instead, the game sent me all the way back to the beginning of the demo. That was honestly pretty shocking. It had taken me around 45 minutes to reach the final battle, and the idea of replaying everything just to get back to that moment really killed my motivation to continue. That ending was frustrating because I was actually enjoying the game quite a bit. The nostalgic feel, the tactical combat, and the deep environmental mechanics make Never's End feel like a really interesting evolution of a classic tactics formula, but forcing players to restart the demo after a loss feels unnecessarily punishing. These types of games are built around trial and error. Players are expected to experiment, fail, and try new strategies. So I'm really hoping when the full game releases, the developers allow more forgiving save systems, the ability to retry battles immediately, or at least restart from the nearest town or tavern. Right now, though, the difficulty spike and the lack of mid-demo checkpoints made it hard for me to finish the experience, even though I wanted to, and that's honestly the biggest compliment I can give it. I want to keep playing.